to our second edition of our TikTok deep dive series. While we didn't know for sure if we would ever get to this point, the incredible reception of part 1 has assured us that it is definitely time to do another. So thank you all so much for your support on that one. With that being said, even in part 1, we had a multitude of accounts that didn't even make that video. So it is definitely time to give a few of those their spotlights. As we illustrated, TikTok really does seem to feature a lot of strange content that slips through its cracks. Also, like last time, some videos we play may be silenced due to the fact that videos often contain copyrighted music. With this long preamble out of the way though, I think we can simply get on with the dive. So let's go ahead and do that. For our first page of the dive, like last time, things are going to start off pretty nasty. This is a warning for anybody that is easily grossed out by bugs, especially cockroaches. Because deep on TikTok, there lies an account that is seemingly overrun by just that, cockroaches. As this absolutely disgusting first video shows, wherever this person is, there are literally cockroaches everywhere. And he even grabs them. And this seems to be the case with every single video. Something I will say is that videos on this page seem to disappear and then sometimes reappear quite often. I'm not sure if this is TikTok themselves striking down the content, or if it is simply the creator removing some stuff, but whatever the case, there is definitely a few videos missing here. And there unfortunately doesn't seem to be any inputs on the Wayback Machine either to see what this page may have looked like in the past. Because of this, I just have the 5 current videos that we can see here in the screenshot. Even during the making of this video, there used to be 6 videos, but I didn't download that one in time or take a screenshot of it, so unfortunately, we are down to just 5. The most popular video on the entire page is this one right here. And as you can see, it just shows some walls completely filled from head to toe with squirming cockroaches. That's all the noteworthy aspects to this main page, but there is one more thing worth discussing. As you can see, this account follows just one person, which I definitely found very interesting. With something like that, I would assume that it could be the same person's other account or something, but I'm not totally sure. As for the account on here, it is much different and honestly pretty mundane. Something noteworthy to say is the fact that this account is not an English speaker. If you go back to the main account, you will see that many of the post descriptions are in fact in English, but there are a few others that are in the same language as this other account. Even if you look at the posts with English descriptions, they are pretty short phrases. Does this mean that both accounts are the same person? Well, it's still a bit unclear. After all, it would be natural to assume that someone who speaks Thai could just follow someone else who also does.
Well, with the recent new account that has been followed, this is now pretty much confirmed, as the new account that was followed is also posting in Thai. Of course though, we still have a number of other questions surrounding the main account, such as,
where was this person for there to be this many cockroaches? And why was all of this even posted? As far as these questions go, the second question is certainly the more approachable of the two. Much like the Chernobyl page in our first video, it is very likely that this is also just some shock account. And on a place like TikTok, there absolutely is a huge reason to even do something like this. With that being said, also like last time, the things we are seeing are still real, and whether it's posted for shock or not, it is still mildly concerning. Again, like that previous page, I wonder where this creator also simply has access to a truly vile location and just films videos there, or if this is really what their living situation is like. Unfortunately, due to all these circumstances, I can't properly answer a question of this sort, so it will remain a mystery for now. As for the other question, I really couldn't think of another reason that these would be posted for other than shock value, but boy is it effective. It basically visualizes that famous saying of, if you'd stay in a room of cockroaches for a certain amount of money. Would you really? Because this is what it looks like. This truly was one of the nastiest pages I've ever seen on TikTok, and if there's one big takeaway to make here, it's to buy some Raid. For our next page of the night, we have a true rabbit hole, that being the page of Anna, known on TikTok as userxzwmhnn16d, and known across the internet as even more, as we will very soon see. In mid-2019 this account would pop up, and it started as being relatively normal. It seemed to be a Russian woman who liked dancing, which lived up to TikTok standards to say the least. But towards the end of 2019, things completely changed.
Кажется, защищать мой внешний вид, спортивную технику растищивают и просто переносить претензии суда. Ты думаешь, мне просто будешь погонять кадра? Надо будет судиться за имущество. Вплоть до раздела его. Тут я хожу посылать, твоих отношений.
As you can see by these videos, she seemed to speak incredibly quickly, and everything in general just seemed extremely concerning. Posts began popping up much more frequently, and they all kept up with this theme. A day before Christmas, she would make her final post. As we alluded to, things do not end here. Not at all. As I looked online to find more info on this account, I found out that she had an entire presence on multiple different places on the internet, especially YouTube. Online, she is known as RefBatch, and she started uploading videos onto YouTube as far back as 2008. At a point, she used to have over 30,000 videos, a truly shocking number. I also found out that although she is Russian, she seems to speak in a really strange combination of multiple different languages that effectively makes what she is saying really difficult to understand. Lots of the videos have this really jumbled, concerning types of speaking to the camera, but a lot of the other ones also do feature more dancing. Many people have tried to take out pieces of her speaking that can be understood, and over time some people have made some pretty disturbing discoveries. Most notably the fact that she seems to talk about some extreme fears of her government, and even about being abducted by them in the past. Going back to her dancing, it was also found out that she used to have a professional career in dancing in Russia. These also show that her final dance competition was in October of 2008, which was right before she began posting to YouTube. All of these reasons have a lot of people convinced that she is suffering from paranoid schizophrenia, and while that may definitely be possible, there is one more piece to the story that might make things way more sinister. Anna's husband also began posting to YouTube, and believe it or not, he had more info about Anna's disturbing claims. He mentions that after consistently speaking out against the Russian government, she was actually given an injection that eventually led us to what we see now. If this is true, that is incredibly disturbing. But is it? Well, what we do know is he gave us a few dates, one of which was the time that she was arrested, which was June 6th, 2013. This very same day, there was a protest that saw multiple other people also get arrested and sent to psychiatric wards, which would completely line up with what her husband was talking about. What makes this all even worse is the fact that multiple people in Russia have spoken up about being treated for things that they never even had, specifically after being apprehended for their outspoken nature of speech. A number of the reports by this article even mentioned specific cases of pills being given to people that considerably lowered all of their functions. As you can see, her husband's claims lead into something much, much larger, but I'm just focused on whether this really was a likely thing that could have happened to her. If true, it could probably explain her dancing career suddenly ending, and of course her behaviors. But even with this all being said, I'm still not sure if this is the case. While his points as a whole seem like they could sadly be extremely possible, especially when considering the articles that we went over, her behaviors were noticeable since well before 2013, when she was supposedly arrested. Her dancing career also stopped long before this, though there could have been entirely different circumstances for that being the case. In whatever case, even in 2008 when our videos first began being uploaded, they were strange to say the least. Sure, there were definitely periods where things got way stranger, there were also periods where things got a little calmer, relatively speaking of course. All of this seems to make things more likely to me that she is simply suffering from a mental health condition, in which paranoid schizophrenia would seem to line up in a few ways. As for the husband, if this really were the case, there could be a few explanations for why he would be saying what he is saying. While pretty rare, there is a phenomenon known as folie à deux, which is basically when two people share symptoms of psychosis. It is very rare, but it nonetheless does occur sometimes, most commonly in lovers, which is of course the case here. Due to its rareness, it's tough to discern whether this is really what is going on here or not. But for RefBatch in particular, I'd say that it seems much more likely through what we have seen here that she is showing signs of a mental health condition. As this saga comes to a close, I wanted to see how things are today. In doing that, it was integral to mention her dancing one last time. Believe it or not, she still uploads every day. Okay, a lot every day, about just as often as she used to, and just as it was before. There is that mix of dancing videos along with the ones where she is speaking to the camera, still sadly in ways that can be pretty concerning sometimes. But I was thinking about these videos where she is simply dancing and what they could mean. There are a lot of them, and when you compare them to the other videos, it's just such a stark contrast to everything. While they can still be pretty off-putting, as even we said, they also seem really notable to me for the fact that they don't feature her speaking or acting in a sporadic manner at all. They're just her doing the passion that she seems to have had her entire life. Some people have even mentioned that they can recognize some of the things that she was doing and how they were impressive and definitely show that she really did have a background in dancing. In a way, I hope that these dances give her the moments of peace that she clearly deserves. For our third page of this dive, we have Willard and Friends. This page is certainly one of the strangest pages on TikTok I've ever seen. Nearly every video stars this half-naked man and his puppet, the puppet being Willard of course, and the man in the video going by different names playing different characters depending on the video.
Willard! Yes, Jesus! H. Christ! Not my name. Why? What do you did? Look. Devil? Yes. Willard? Am I going to hell? Don't breathe so heavy. Don't breathe so heavy. I can't help it, I'm nervous. You are going to hell. And what is hell?
In some videos, the man is called Jesus, in some the devil, and sometimes he plays a doctor named Dr. Chikuchi. The man is mostly seen with his classic brown, long-haired wig on, but will don a variety of different outfits on occasion. All of the outfits being still mostly half-naked.
You can go to hell for having hairy forearms. I didn't know that. So what's next? I'm gonna shave. Jesus Christ is gonna shave his forearms. Let's see it now!
No matter what is going on, you can count on an interaction between the man and Willard, and they range between really funny and just really off-putting, or both at the same time.
So, I'm going to help you lose weight. And I have a poem to help. Oh, this should be good. Here it is. Less calories in, more calories out. That's what losing body fat is all about. Bitch!
The man is genuinely a pretty decent ventriloquist. If you pay attention to the man, you can see every time Willard speaks, he smiles. Without paying attention, the ventriloquism is pretty good, but once you know how he does the trick, it's pretty easy to spot. It's hard to describe these videos in bulk, though they are pretty similar. It mostly follows the same formula of the man telling a joke or playing a character and Willard, in his screechy, grating voice, reacting to whatever is said to him.
Hello, Willard. Hello, Dr. Chikuchi. At least you got my name right, bitch. I'll call you what I want. I have a question for you. What is the question? Because I am a doctor of philosophy, theology, and many other fields. Why, if Jesus loves you, did he destroy not just Florida with a hurricane? Oh, I got an answer. What is it? He Oh. Yes? To be continued, bitch. Don't call me bitch. I'll call you what I want.
Like previously mentioned, the man is addressed as Jesus or the devil, depending on the video, which gives the page a weird feeling overall. These are very clearly a very odd attempt at sketch comedy, as nearly every single video is featuring specific jokes. Some of these videos on the channel feature clips of Joe Biden and some political commentary, I guess you could say. Politics is not something that we like to get into, but to say the least, it doesn't look like Willard and friends like Joe Biden. But these videos are few and far between, usually sandwiched between a parody cover or a joke video. Willard and Friends is a hard account to track. The page is banned constantly, and through the making of this video has been taken down and re-emerged a few times. Footage of this account is easily lost, and when the account is taken down, you never know when it will reappear and what username it will be under. For example, the username originally was Destiny is Your Master. These disappearances make it extremely difficult to get a full analysis on Willard and his friend. Willard isn't just on TikTok either. There's a YouTube channel by the name of Willard and Jesus, which only features one video of Willard and a character called D-Lo. The video doesn't have much to talk about, it's pretty standard stuff, just in a longer format than usual. Willard and Jesus have been missing from YouTube for over 7 months, though I'm imagining that this is likely the case due to the TikTok getting tons of traction. Willard also has his own website, which goes by the same name as the original TikTok username, destinyisyourmaster.com. And this is where things get a lot weirder. The website has 3 articles written by Jesus. They feature writings of religion, removing negativity from your life, and free will. In this dive, I'm not going too in-depth into the actual content of these writings, as they tackle some heavier subjects. Overall, Willard and Friends content seems fairly harmless. It's surreal, and yeah, it's pretty weird, but nothing jumps out at me that screams like any of this is a bad thing. The page and other social medias sometimes take a serious turn, whether it's about politics or the free will of humans and questions of religion. His account is taken down quite a bit, and it does seem unclear as to why. TikTok does have a bad track record of just removing accounts for the slightest of reasons. Willard and Friends sure is strange, but doesn't seem to be breaking any rules or guidelines, at least from what I've seen. Though maybe it's possible I've missed some things in the sea of posts that he's had over time. This account is full of some genuinely wild stuff. I do recommend checking some of it out yourself, as we were unable to tackle every single thing this account has ever posted. For our final post of the night, we have an insane story of a man who's wanted by the FBI and Interpol. A man who is on red notice list of Interpol but is currently free and posting all of this right on TikTok. The first video I was ever graced with from the account Kudzu the Raccoon was a weird one. It's essentially a man bragging about being on the most wanted list of the FBI and Interpol for kidnapping his own son, which was incredibly freaky and really jarring. Of course, everyone would assume that posting TikToks about your wanted status would be a pretty bad idea, but Kudzu's goal isn't to boast about his infamy, it's to gain support for his botched case and sentence. This entire story is fairly long and complex, and has multiple side stories of what happened. So, for the sake of brevity, I'm going to do my best at breaking down the story into the best way possible. In 1996, Kudzu and his ex-wife got married in Kentucky and moved to Tennessee, where they had their son Alex. This note will be important later, but the only state they lived in while married was Tennessee. Alex also never lived anywhere else. In 2001, Kudzu and his wife got divorced and he moved overseas. Alex stayed with his mother. Through many custody court cases, by 2005 Kudzu was allowed custody and Alex moved to Europe with his father. Alex's mother moved to Pennsylvania and claimed that Kudzu kidnapped his son to a Pennsylvanian court, even though all of the other proceedings took place in Tennessee. Alex went back to live with his mother during the summer, in which at the end of the summer, she denied Kudzu back custody. The courts gave custody back over to Kudzu and Alex returned to Europe. In 2006, Kudzu returned to the US and went back to Europe for good, never stepping foot near Pennsylvania, which is again important for later. The Pennsylvania judge charged Kudzu with false kidnapping charges, claiming that Alex's location was unknown, although Alex and his mother had full communication across the world. The charges were then turned into federal kidnapping charges in secret at a federal grand jury, without Kudzu being allowed to give his defense. The FBI took the story and publicized it heavily. The news spread over to Europe when Kudzu was arrested in Bulgaria in 2009 on a business trip. This is where things start to get a bit confusing, so bear with me. The FBI tried and failed to extradite Kudzu twice. He was freed from a Bulgarian prison but not allowed to leave Bulgaria. The FBI is working on false evidence of Kudzu's ex-wife who lied during her testimony. In the current era, Kudzu is still wanted by the FBI and Interpol, which is where the TikTok comes into play. As for Alex, he is now 22 and still claimed as missing, even with his testimonies of him obviously not being missing. He has gone on talk shows and news reporters, telling everyone that he isn't and never was a missing person. Kudzu is still wanted, but there isn't exactly people after him consistently as we've seen. His TikTok is full of multiple videos of him essentially taunting the FBI to come get him, claiming that the FBI knows exactly where he is, but won't get him.
Did you know that the FBI can send informants to catfish you and then send you to federal prison from a former?
Oh, yes, I did know that. They've been after me for 16 years for something I didn't do, so maybe you could check me out? I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
The reason he claims as to why the FBI won't touch him is because Kudzu suffers from a life-threatening ailment all alone, and the FBI would rather him die and let his whole ordeal fade into obscurity than apologize and admit to all of the wrongdoings they caused him. This concludes the wildly tragic story of Kudzu. We weren't able to cover the entire story, but you can check out his TikTok page, Kudzu the Raccoon, or check out his website, kudzuworld.com, which is where I found most of the information on this case. I highly recommend a read over his story. It highlights the corruption and complete negligence that bureaucracy can breed, as well as the fumbling of important government and court documents. It's a very scary tale, but serves as a cautionary one that the people that protect us may not be doing the right job at all. This is going to do it for tonight's edition of TikTok Deep Dive. This one was just as fun as the last one, and if you guys enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed researching and creating this video, please make sure to leave a comment, and hopefully a part 3 could come in the very near future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like this video and subscribe. If you like the channel, make sure to check out our social medias, they're all in the description below. Make sure to stop by our Discord, it is absolutely the best way to chat with us and hang out with fellow debunk enthusiasts. Of course, if you'd like to support the channel a little bit more, please head over to our Patreon, Debunk Plus. For only $1 a month, you guys get access to videos early, script PDFs, whatever random stuff we decide to put up, and more. As always, my name is Sept from Debunk File. See you guys next time. Bye.